Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr., and I'm your host for the On the Stacks podcast. Today, I'm chatting with Amy Frenchko and Noelle Balent, partners at the Northeast Wine Company. What's up, podcast episode 26. Welcome to the On the Stacks podcast, Amy and Noelle. How are you guys?
We're great. How are you?
Really good. I'm super excited because we're drinking some wine.
Oh, yeah. Delicious wine.
Yeah, and it's been a long time coming. You know, you guys were supposed to come in back in March, and then, the pandemic hit, and we unfortunately had to reschedule, and, I wanted to really try the wine in person with you guys. So I'm really, really excited that you guys are here, and we'll talk about the wines in a few minutes and what you guys really do. But let's start, Amy, if it's okay, let's start with you. Give me a little bit on your background in general.
In general?
Yeah, and then how you got into wine a little bit too, but...
Okay. I started working in restaurants that had really nice wine lists that were acknowledged by Wine Spectator. I became really intrigued by the entire industry, the process from the vine to the bottle. I loved how it was always changing. There was so much to learn about it. The taste, the smell, romantic. I love the geography aspect of it, traveling. I worked in restaurants throughout my 20s. I traveled a lot across country, and I ended up back here in Pennsylvania, and I worked for an online gourmet company, iGourmet. I worked for them for 15 years. I worked for Crossing Vineyards, a Pennsylvania winery, for 3 years, and then I went back to iGourmet and worked for a wine importing company, and that's where I met Noelle, and she and I decided to start our own venture. We wanted to have two women go out into the wine world and give our perspective and show people how to drink wine, experience wine through our eyes, and bring products into the country that have never been here before.
Really cool. So you obviously have a lot of experience in the wine industry.
Yes.
And you have a little bit of education, and you brought the wine Bible today, and you brought this colorful wheel to help me understand what I'm drinking here. And at what point did you guys meet? How did you meet Amy or Noelle? I'm sorry.
Noelle and I met in the wine industry about 5 years ago. She and I had great synergy. We loved wine. We liked to learn. She liked to travel. I loved her perspective. We worked well together, and we decided to branch out and start our own thing and create something different, something that wasn't happening.
Really cool. So, Noelle, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background. You're a Penn Stater. I love that.
Yes, we are.
Penn State?
Yes, I graduated from Penn State in 2014. I did a semester abroad in Barcelona, Spain in 2013, and that is what got me into wine.
Oh,
it's
really
a
cool.
completely different experience over there. It's cheap, so you try a lot. One of our semesters actually took us to a cava winery and vineyard, and that's what really sparked my interest for Spanish wines and tasting wine rather than just drinking it.
Really cool. So you guys met 5 years ago, and you just said hey, let's get together. And how did it start? How did this come about?
Well, we were drinking a lot of wine
together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy idea.
One evening, and we took Noelle's logistics expertise, my wine education, my wine experience, living, driving around or traveling cross country, working in restaurants. We wanted to take all of those experiences and start our own thing.
When did it start?
So we formed the Northeast Wine Company in 2018.
Yes.
And we partnered with a gentleman in Spain, and he lives in the south of Spain. His family owns a vineyard. He grew up on a vineyard. He lived in the United States for almost 15 years in the wine industry. He speaks 4 languages. He has introduced Noelle and I to all of the winemakers, the producers, the farmers, everyone that we have relationships with.
So how did you meet him?
We met him through just some colleagues, networks we had in the wine business.
It all fell together very fast, but I think the best things do. We have a very good relationship, and our partner Jaime fell right into that.
Is that his name?
Yes.
Same Jaime as well.
Jaime.
Jaime.
Yeah, really cool
cool
guy, Spanish, super smart. He's also WSET educated. He's a sherry expert. He's very well traveled, and he's our mentor. He guides us, and he supports all of our decisions. We have a great
cool.
creative flow.
So where is he at now?
He's in Spain.
Okay, and does he help you guys source wine? Is that...
Yes. So obviously, right now we're kind of stuck here domestically, and he is able to travel through Spain and still communicate with our winemakers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you guys traveling there to see him and/or wineries over there prior to the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and now you can't go there? Is that...
Well, we had a lot of things on the schedule for this year, for this summer to travel.
Unfortunately, probably didn't happen.
Yeah, it did
Right.
not happen. But before that, Noelle and I would go to Germany. There's a huge trade show that everyone in the world comes together to try wines. It's called Pro Wine. So we did that in Dusseldorf every year.
Cool.
So that was a huge way for us to source and taste fine wines from different winemakers.
Nice. So do you each play different roles at the company?
We do. We have different roles. However, we work very close together as a team. I do the wine aspect, more of that, the wine, sales, relationship person. Well,
And
And
Noelle.
then I'm responsible of getting
I'm not
the
responsible.
juice.
Amy
To
is
our
not
customers.
responsible.
Amy's not.
She's responsible for me at all times.
I have a timeline of her schedule. I
So
know
you
where
got-
she is at all times.
She does.
You got to keep tabs on her. But
I know,
it's very hard.
she spilled wine on me
I
on the
did.
stacks.
I
You
should
got
have
it.
known better.
So we were taking the photos, and we were pouring our first couple glasses of wine, and we had a little accident, a little spill of the red
Everywhere.
wine. But it's okay.
Over.
It's all
On
good.
Bill's beautiful new shirt.
Yeah, my beautiful new lemon shirt.
Has cute little lemons, and I ruined
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's all right. It's good wine. So, so I'm sorry. Back to
That's all right.
Noelle.
The wine is on the table today because of all the work, logistics, licensing, label approval on my end.
Is that that's what you do?
Yes. So all the
Sounds
back end,
complicated.
It's a lot of fun. Every day is a different task, especially how fast that the market and everything is changing. I mean, different states have different rules and different laws, so you got to keep up on that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a puzzle.
Yeah. So how do you keep up with all that? Like, what do you do? Like, do you
Reading, keeping tabs
like that
on that.
Bible?
Yeah, the Bible and the TTB, so tax, tobacco, alcohol. They have a newsletter that goes up
Okay.
with different changing items.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the wines you brought. Right now we're drinking a red, but I know it's got another name, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it. So
I
throw
want
the
you to.
Tempranillo.
Tempranillo.
Oh, I knew that.
That was good. I have a terrible time with pronunciation.
I-
That's how I said it the first time.
And by the way, before we started, I said I wasn't gonna pronounce it right, and I was like, Amy, I'll just make you say it, and I
want
failed.
to hear you say it first.
It's all good.
We all fail the first
All right,
time.
so we're drinking this red wine. Tell me a little bit about it.
So this red wine is from our folks over in Spain, in Navarra, Spain, in the northeast corner. It borders Spain or France. Sorry. It's called Cuaderanovia. It's a family-owned and operated farm. It's 100% organic, no chemicals, dry farm, no irrigation. It's Tempranillo, the red, 100%. The grapes are done in a stainless steel tank, and then it's second fermentation in a concrete vat, and then it's finished off 3 months in French oak. And the benefit of drinking an organic wine is that You're not going to have a lot of sulfites. There's not a lot of chemicals. You get its true beauty from the vine to the bottle. And your feeling the next day is not going to be, you're not going to have a headache. You're not going to have that terrible hangover. And when you have wines that are organically farmed, you're not going to have a lot of sugar in them either. So this guy has about 3 grams of sugar per glass, where some of them can have 11 or 12.
Oh, wow. That's a big difference.
It is. And all that sugar coats your tongue. It gives you a headache the next day.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Adds some pounds on you. So
Yeah.
it's just this line of wines is called BeBike. Noelle and I are very proud of it. And when I said we are doing something different, we want to show people that there are more wines in the world besides the 5 varietals that everyone drinks. There's only a certain amount of wines in Pennsylvania that you could get and source. They're beautiful wines. They're great national brand names, but there's amazing varietals out there that you could enjoy, and you can have them for under $20.
Yeah. And each vineyard has their own story to tell. The winemakers, you could tell the love and care and affection that goes into their farming and their grape picking and their production of the wine. So it's not just a big company tearing down all the grapes, fermenting it, putting it in a bottle, and selling it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a story behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some real people.
Real people,
Exactly.
We know them. We know Jorge and his brother Juan. It's a great family. The vines are, how old are these vines? They're over 100 years old.
Wow.
Just make quality products. There's a hot air balloon that you can ride if you go to visit over the vineyard. Noelle wants to go in it so bad.
Does she, or was that?
She's afraid of heights.
Afraid of heights.
Just a little bit.
Okay. That's all right. I wouldn't go on it either.
It would be an experience, but we'll see.
I'd probably have to drink this whole bottle of red wine
Before
before.
to get you in there.
You
We'll
won't-
take you.
yeah.
We'll make you go in it.
You won't have wine flu after drinking a whole bottle.
No?
No. Tried and tested. We're good.
Guaranteed? Mm-hmm. All right.
No wine flu.
We'll put it to the test.
Yeah, so also BeBike, we have the Chardonnay, which has 0 sugar. That is steel to bottle, no oak. And then we have the Rosado, which is a rosé Spanish version with Garnacha grapes. And that is also steel to bottle.
What's your favorite wine right now, Amy?
My favorite wine right now is, I'm really interested in Spanish blends. Red. I'm really loving Bobble. Anything with that grape is very interesting to me. I love Riojas. But also I'm really into the wines from the south of France. Really cool stuff from there too. So it changes. We always like different things.
Yeah.
But Bobble from Spain is my favorite right now.
Noelle?
I really love the BeBike Tempranillo. It's one of my favorites. It goes back to my Spanish study abroad experience. But we did go to a trade show earlier this year before COVID hit for the south of Spain. And we were able to
You were over there?
in New York.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were able to try a whole bunch of wines that we've never been able to. France. Sorry. Talking
It's the
about
wine.
Spain. It's the wine.
We've had a little bit of wine.
Yes, and it was an amazing experience meeting with all those producers and trying different wines that you don't get to try here in Pennsylvania or
Okay.
really at, your typical restaurant.
Yeah. So, like, who is your ideal customer?
Our ideal customer is any person that likes wine, that wants to have an experience while they're drinking wine, drink something a little bit off the grid that they've never had before.
Yeah, and someone who's open to trying new things and the experience behind the different type of varietals that there are.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
there's so much. Italy has over 2,000 varietals, and in Pennsylvania we drink 2 of them for the most
Right.
part from Italy. There's just so much to explore and experience, and Noelle and I want to leave our footprint in the U.S. with bringing new amazing wines from Europe.
So, speaking of bringing the wines from, overseas, is it a difficult process? Like, how you're smiling, like
We feel we have it pretty nailed. We know the process.
like how long did it take you to figure it out?
Well, there's no rule book. There's not a book that says this is how you import wine.
No.
And again, every state is different.
So you just had to kind of figure it out?
Yes. So you have to get, your general license, then your state license, and then figure out logistics, building your portfolio, making sure the wines are close together rather than all across Europe. So that cuts down on the cost for the logistics and the freight. And then you have to get all the labels approved, pricing posted all across the states that you're importing to. And yeah, that's how you get a bottle of wine on your table.
It's a lot of work on the back end.
It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is fun. It's fun to be part of the process and see how that is in your hand on your table in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So take me through that process. Like, we're drinking this red wine right now. Like, how long did it take from, the time it was made till the time we're drinking it? Like, what's the process like?
So our process is Jaime and I will select wines, taste them with Noelle. We make sure it's something that we could introduce to the market that's unique, or something that maybe is something that will kind of fit in. And then it takes us about
8 weeks from deciding on, okay, this is the type of wine, this is the bottle of wine that I want here in the United States. So from there, then we get the label approved. We work on logistics. Label approval can take anywhere from 7 days to a month, depending on how many different wineries are submitting their labels to be approved. And yeah, from there, we get it over here, sell it, price post it in the States. And
on the stacks.
And on the stacks, yes.
Spilling it everywhere, all over your everything.
Spilled it on the shirt.
Yeah.
We spilled it on the paper.
My jeans, everywhere.
Your jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were sober when it happened.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
We could change that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost glass and a half in, so maybe that'll change. So what regions do you think you get the best wine from? What regions of the world?
Well, I think that's subjective. I think that question is an individual opinion. My opinion right now is Spain. I like the wines that we have from Navarra. I'm loving everything that we have from Rioja, our wines from Barcelona. That's our main focus right now. There's not a lot of Spanish influence in the market in Pennsylvania and in the other markets that we're selling to in the U.S. So we wanted to spread the Spanish love around and show everyone the amazing products we have, because we only work with 2 or 3 Spanish producers, and we have exclusivity on their products, and we're really focused on branding the products that we have from them.
So how are you guys the only one that you guys sell this wine?
Yes, so BeBike is our main focus right now, and we are the only importer in the U.S. that represents it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, if anyone listening right now wanted to try this wine, how could they try it?
They can call Noelle or I at the Northeast Wine Company, and depending where you are, we can give you instruction. In Pennsylvania, as a consumer, you have to go to the finewineandgoodspirits.com.
And they can just request it.
Yeah, there's codes on each one. You can type in the word BeBike, BeBike, and it'll come up in the search, and you can have it shipped to whatever state store is your preference. We deliver to all.
Gotcha.
And then there's a lot of restaurants locally that we sell to, so they'll have our products.
Really cool. So do you guys sell any other brands, or is this like your thing right now?
This is our trailblazer,
Okay.
in my opinion. We do have a wonderful Chianti from the Tuscany region from our producer, Ogiano. It's wonderful. We have a few other Spanish wines from Torrealdea, which is in Rioja. So a small portfolio to start, but we're always expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we also have another, we have a cava. It's called Helix, and that's our brand as well. So that's our focus right now. We want to bring quality products and really focus and get all of them in everyone's hands and drink them and enjoy them.
So how do you get these products? Like, how do you guys market this and yourselves and the wine? Like, what do you guys do? I know it's probably really tough right now with, COVID regulations, but maybe prior to the COVID regulations, how do you get the word out about all of this?
Social media is huge. We do a lot of social media.
Tasting events.
I was going to say,
Yes.
yeah.
Amy works with our local restaurants and handles tastings where, customers could come up, try things, and learn about the wine. And then enjoy a glass at their table with, their favorite appetizer.
Yeah,
Really
we have a lot of we have a lot of the BeBike, the Oggiano Chianti, Lucere. You could find a lot of our wines in any of the Rob Friedman restaurants. He supports our company. He buys a lot of our wine, so you could always find our stuff there.
So, God, what were you going to say?
And the Sabatini's bottle shop in Exeter.
Yes.
Okay.
So a consumer can go into the bottle shop and take out any of our products. We actually have an end cap in Sabatini's bottle shop. It says Northeast Wine Company, and our wines are all there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So back to, you mentioned the Rob Friedman restaurants. For those that are listening and may not know who Rob is or, his group of restaurants. I mean, I know personally because I know him and I know the restaurants, but there may be some people that might not know. So do you want to maybe name a few of those restaurants that that you guys might have the wine in that people can try if they're at that restaurant?
Yes. Kevin's,
Bank and Vine.
Bank and Vine, Fire and Ice,
Beaumont.
the Beaumont, Grieco's.
We don't want to forget any.
Yeah.
Grieco's.
No, I know.
Cork.
Okay. So it's in all of his,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes.
I think that was all of them.
I think so too. Yeah.
Unless he bought another one that we don't know about yet.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Secrets.
I don't know.
So, but it's in a lot of the local, fine
Yes.
dining restaurants.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
a big supporter of the
Really
Northeast
cool.
Wine Company.
That's great.
Yeah.
Really cool. He just opened, rebranded, and opened Bank and Vine. Mm-hmm. Have you guys been?
Yes, I've been.
I have not yet.
I was there last week, and the food was amazing. Staff was great. They had delicious BeBike wines on the menu. So we had a really good time. The chef, Gelso, amazing. Erin, she's one of the managers. It was a really great experience from start to finish.
That's cool. I actually know Aaron. I went to grade school with Aaron.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we helped to do some of the graphics on the building and helped with a couple of our printed things
that's fun.
for them for their opening. But
Yeah.
she called and I said, okay, yeah, we'll come down. And I didn't realize it was the Aaron that I knew. And I showed up and she's like, Bill? And I'm like, Aaron? And it was like, oh, wait, we haven't seen each other in like 15 years.
Right.
And she just moved back from Philly.
Yeah.
She said. So, but yeah, really, really cool. So, I mean, how else, we just talked a little bit about how you guys promote yourselves. Is there anything you guys do? I mean, what do you guys, as far as coming up, as far as, events or future promotions, things like that, like, hopefully, the COVID regulations and the, hopefully things will, get better soon. I mean, what are your future plans? Like, what are you guys looking to do?
So after, COVID and the regulations die down a little bit, we do personal wine tastings. We could do a wine tasting party and sell our wines, to family and friends and stock up for Christmas, Thanksgiving, the holidays. We do build your own wine menus for bars and or weddings. So we're interested in working with wedding venues moving forward and corporate gifts.
Okay.
Yeah, corporate gifts is huge. Every Christmas, we have a really nice wine menu. We have tote bags that we could put the wine bottles in, and we do gift packaging for anybody's gift needs.
Cool.
Because who doesn't want a bottle of wine for Christmas?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seriously.
It's the best gift.
I do.
Yeah.
Noted.
Don't forget. Yeah. Christmas is, it's a few months away, but,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, send it to the studio. Mm-hmm. And, we'll drink it.
You got it.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
And I love the red, by the way. The Tempranillo. Did I say
There
it
you
right?
go. Yeah.
Tempranillo.
Tempranillo. I like that. Amy just pointed to her knee to help me say that right. So, thank
Took you a
you.
bit.
I'll never forget that now.
Yes.
So how can people learn a little bit more about you guys?
They could call us, right?
Yeah, we're always available. We have Facebook, Instagram. Find us on there. We're always ready to chat with our customers. Anything you're interested in, or if you're planning a nice big family party and you want a wine for it, shoot us a message. We'll do some suggestions and we'll go from there.
So send a DM.
Yeah,
Yes.
DM. And then Sabatinis. Like we said, Lindo has everything that we have in our portfolio. You could just walk in and grab it. And if you needed a large amount, we could coordinate any type of amount you want.
Yes, we're located in Kingston, so it's not far at all.
Great. So, Amy, I'll ask you first, but what is your favorite thing about NEPA?
Pizza, right? Pizza is
Yes.
the best part of our NEPA. There's nowhere else in the U.S. that has pizza like us.
Agreed.
And hoagies. I like a good hoagie.
Hoagies. Yeah. From where?
And wings.
Hoagies.
Hoagies.
Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't like a hoagie?
I don't. You're crazy if you don't.
I know. Yeah.
Noelle?
I love the love for local businesses and supporting, your local mom and pop shops, your local importers, restaurants, things like that. I think Northeast PA is kind of like a big family. And if they hear, you're from here, they'll support you, which it's great.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely something to be said about that. And, a lot of our other previous guests on the podcast have all kind of said the same thing. Like, well, pizza is pizza is like the top answer.
Yeah.
Hoagie, that's the first one, I think.
Hoagies.
But-
We'd have hoagie tastings.
But I would, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, pizza, and just like the whole, local atmosphere, family-owned businesses. I think that's a really big part of this area. And, I myself obviously have a family business here, and, it means a lot to me. And, same thing with you guys. So it's really cool. So is there anything else that you want our listeners to know about the Northeast Wine Company?
We are here for your wine needs. If there's anything that you've tasted, in your experiences and you'd love to see come to the States, let us know and we'll see if there's a market for us.
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
So social media, Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yep,
Anywhere else? Am I missing anything?
that's it for now, but we're always looking to expand.
Good. So guys, everyone can look you guys up and check out the wines. I'm sure you guys post about, some different things coming up and different
Yes.
wines, and
Yes.
great. Well, I want to thank you both for joining me today, Amy and Noelle.
Thanks, Bill, for having us. We had a great time. I will
you so
spill
much.
wine here anytime you'd like.
Yes, you are more than welcome to come again and spill some wine and drink some wine, and we'll have
we
some
would love
fun.
to come back.
Yeah,
Yes, thank
definitely.
you.
So
Again.
fun.
Well, thank you guys again on the Stacks podcast, the Northeast Wine Company. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. We'll keep the cling in there.
Yes, I like it.
That was good. If you'd like to learn more about the On the Stacks podcast, be sure to search the hashtag On the Stacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'll catch you next time on the Stacks.